Hello and welcome. Good to be back with another Waiter to Win edition, and certainly looking forward to this particular card. And we out a trip to Hollywoodbets Greyville. We're on the Poly track. Just another reminder about that social media strap, which is up on your screen at the moment. You can jot down all the information that you need, and certainly looking forward to this 8-race program. The bar pod naturally starts in race number 1, PA race number 2, the pick 6 in race number 3, and then 2 jackpots on offer. The first jackpot race 4 and the second jackpot will start in race number 5. I've got both D's on the line today. I've got Darren Burrows and Daryl Marie joining me, and we'll start with Darren first. Darren, in the Western Cape, hopefully you're in good spirits. I know that it's been a tough 2 weeks, but you're up and fighting. What do you like in the first? I see Jade's Cabernet is your 19-10 favourite.
Yes, good morning, Brandon. It has been tough the last week or two, but we're sure to bounce back any day now. And we got the daily news on Saturday, which is an awesome meeting. We all want to get involved in that pick 6 pool. Race 1. Now, I thought the horse to beat, What Now My Gull. I did like her last time out. She moved up to a point. I thought she was in need of the run, having a 5-month rest. I think being 2 lengths off Jade's Cabernet on form on that last effort, she could well reverse it. But I thought the race lies between those 2 runners. I'm narrowly favouring What Now My Gull over Jade's Cabernet. There are others with chances, a horse like Commerson's Passion, Sea of Tears, and Dress to the Nines.
All right, yeah, so that's the input from Darren. Let's go and link up with Daryl Marie. Daryl, tell us a bit about the first race. I know we've been for this horse, Jade's Cabernet, a few times. Gets that plum draw today of 1. And interesting that Corey Lensley's made a trip to KwaZulu-Natal with Commerson's Passion. How are you playing the first?
That's right, Brandon. Let me just touch on some car changes. There's a jockey change. Number 1 is going to be ridden by Samanga Kamala. And number 3, Commerson's Passion, the blinkers have been removed. Now, if there is going to be a course and distance that's going to suit Commerson's Passion, it may well be the Poly track over 1,000 meters. So I've got respect for her. The word from the Hollywood Syndicate with regards to number 1, Jade's Cabernet, is they're going to ride her more conservatively, and hopefully she finishes her race off. You can see they have removed the blinkers for that reason. The 2-year-old in the race interests me. Dressed to the Nines, you can see she's now having a Polytrack debut. She gets that weight for age allowance. You know, she's lightly raced. She could improve. What Now My Girl? The comments pre-race last time out was that she will be in need of that outing. Although the money came for her, she was overdoing it behind runners, and I think she's going to come on in leaps and bounds. So I'm in Darren's camp. I think she may well be the one to beat.
All right, yeah, so we're going to jump straight into the selections. Let's see what we're doing. It is the first leg of the bar pots, and Daryl Marie's gone 1, 3, 6 and 7, by 3, 9 and 10, by 1, 2, 3 and 6, by 1 and 10, by 4 and 7, by 4, 5 and 6, and the spend over there is 576 Rand. It all starts now. 12:25 is the off time, and the first is over 1,000 meters. So let's move along. Let's go to the Place Accumulator, wide open race where I'm having a look. I see number 1, Goliath Heron, is your 11-2 favourite, and it's great to see that Clinton Binder had a lovely winner at Turfentine yesterday afternoon, with that was Klawe Lamy giving Calvin Abib his first winner back in South Africa. Quite an open race. I mean, the market's 11-2. You're getting 6-1, 3 Luna Cam, 5 Hooves of Troy, 6-1. So it's a very open race. I'm going to start with Darren Burrows again. Darren, not an easy race. Some competitive sprinters line up over here.
Some lovely sprinters, Brandon. You got Love in Winter, who won 4 on the trot and maybe a bit disappointing last time out, but they have put a set of blinkers on him. He does jump from a deepest draw, so I'm not sure the tactics, but hopefully he can get in. Renaissance Man, a very speedy horse. He's got a 10 draw to contend with, but he could overcome the draw with his natural speed. And he's in form. He beat a horse like Isi Vungu Vungu. I know he received 12.5 kilos that day, but it was still a cracking effort. You've got Luna Cam, his first run back from the Western Cape. On collateral form with Love in Winter, he's very much better off at the weights. Goliath Heron's got to get involved. He loves the Poly too. And a horse like Just a Guy Thing, he's an 8-time winner. So it can get tricky. I've touched on 5 runners that can win.
Yeah, it's not an easy race. You're probably going to have to go a good few horses over here to survive the first leg of the Place Accumulator. Talking about the Place Accumulator, let's go and link up with the PA King, as he's known by, Daryl Marie. Daryl, what can you tell us in race number 2?
Yes, Brendan. I think, well, I know that Darren's touched on 3 of my leading lights over here, numbers 3, 9 and 10. I think number 10, Renaissance Man, ran in that 400-meter dash, if I'm not mistaken, but he lost his race at the start. Take note of the pace here in this race. I mean, you've got a number 2, Adina. You've got number 4, Faustino. This race is really going to be run at a breakneck pace, and it could set up the race for something just off the pace. I'm hoping Renaissance Man could just slot in behind them, and he can do his best work at the business end. Loving Winter. That was a very, very competitive in-full flight handicap last time out. Although he was expected to run closer, I don't think that was the worst of efforts. He gets fitted with blinkers, polytrack debut. Let's see how he goes. Lunacam, he's drawn alongside the pace. If he can just settle in running, he's going to run a much improved race. Go back to the 11th of September, Brandon. He's 8.5 kilograms better off with Faustino for a half a length deficit. So he's extremely well weighted in this event.
All right, so thank you very much to Darren and Daryl. Let's see what we're doing in terms of that Place Accumulator. 3, 9 and 10 for Daryl Marie in the first leg, by 1 and 6, by 1 and 10, by 4 and 7, by 4, 5 and 6, by 2 and 6, by 1 and 12, and the spend over there is 288 Rand. It starts now in race number 2, and you need to be on by 1 o'clock. So we're on to the first leg of the pick 6, the big one of the afternoon. Like I keep saying, and I'll keep waxing lyrical, it's a bet that can change your life, the pick 6. So spend some time on this particular bet. I'm just having a look at the market. Number 1, Ibuto's at 4-1, joint favourite with Say Sura, who's number 3, and it's 5-1 and better bar those. I'm going to start with Darren Burrows again. Darren, what can you tell us when it comes to the first leg of the pick 6? I know you've always been a big fan of this horse, Say Sura, and 4-1 could be some value for a horse that's in good form.
Definitely. This horse has done really well for me. When I've tipped it, it's just about won every time. You know, it's a 9-time winning 7-year-old. Have a look at his course and distance form. 4 wins from 9 starts. That's very good. Almost a 50% strike rate. So he's got to go into your play. I mean, his form is very good, and he gets the allowance of 1.5 kilos. Now, Ibuto, also in form, good last effort. He's had 4 runs over course and distance for a win and 3 places. So he's got to go in. And a horse like Teichmann, now he's won 2 from 7 over course and distance. Last time I'd put a line through that run, he was drawn 14 out of 14. So I made it between numbers 3, 2 and 1.
Yeah, competitive race. We're going to go to the second of the Ds, and that's Daryl Marie. Daryl, tell us a bit about this particular race, because again, I don't want to sound like a stuck record, but I don't think it's easy. Have you got any comments over here for the Hollywood horse, Ibuto?
I'm sure it would read expecting a bold showing, because he's never far off, but I don't have it offhand, unfortunately, Brandon. You know, Keegan DeMello from a 1 draw, that's half the job done already. He's going to be put in the right place. Just with this horse, he needs to run at horses. If he hits the front too soon, well, with my understanding, he turns it up. So he needs to be ridden quietly. Just one other that Darren hasn't mentioned is number 6, Wave Warrior. Now, last time out, it was on the turf. In my opinion, he's a much better polytrack horse. You can see prior to that, he was very competitive off his current mark, while the mark actually a pound or 2 higher. So he goes forward. Tristan's riding at the top of his game. He's going to be thereabouts at the finish.
All right, yeah, I was just having a look at that comment that's come through kindly from the Hollywood Syndicate, and they say Ibuto, his last start was over 1,400 meters at Hollywood Bet Scottsville. He was encouraging. He's doing well at home, jumps from pole position, gets the services of Keegan DeMello, and the son of Duke of Marmalade is expected to be very competitive. So thanks again to the team, and that's the comment for Ibuto. Pick 6 over here. Darren Burrows is going 1, 2, 3, and 5 in the first leg. By Field, so the big F in the second leg, by 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8, by 1 and 6, by 2 and 6, by 1, 4, 5, 8, 11, and 12. 576 Rand will give it to you 10%. It's going to pay money, and it starts at 13.35. All right, so let's move along. It's the first jackpot that starts now in race number 4, and it goes off at 2:10. Just having a look at this particular race, again competitive. I don't know what else to really say. I see that the 4 Spring Kiss 22 to 10 in the market, 5 Imperious Destiny at 5 to 2, the 7 Gardenia is at 5 to 1, and you're getting 11 to 2 and better bar those. Let's go to Darren Burrows. Darren, who's your first selection over here? I see there's been some money around for Spring Kiss. Have you heard anything? Have you found anything?
Very difficult. You know, you've got a filly like I'm the Buzz. I have a look at her maiden victory, 5.5 lengths, and then they stuck her in the deep end, in the point set here. She ran 9 from 9, stone last, but she was only beaten 9 lengths by Marigold Hotel, only receiving 2 kilos. So if she enjoys the step up to a mile, she could be a serious runner. You got Fields of Green. Now she's best over a mile. She ran second to Spring Kiss over 1400. She's 2.5 kilos better off at the weights. So I don't see much separating numbers 3 and 4. And then Imperious Destiny won her maiden last time out, but she won it in really good style. And I wouldn't be surprised to see her follow up either.
Yeah, right. Thanks very much again to Darren for the inputs over there. Let's go and join Daryl Marie. Daryl, what do you like in this particular contest? I see the Hollywood Syndicate, their comments are positive about this horse, Imperious Destiny. I know it's always a step up out of the maidens, never easy. But I like the comments, and apparently doing very well back at home.
Yes, Brandon, if you see this filly, you really think that she's got some substance about her and she can go on with it. Hard to believe that we've seen the best of her. She just beats a very moderate field, so now she does have to step up to the plate. Darren touched on one of my fancies in I'm the Buzz. I mean, the winner was rated 107. The run-up was rated 105. She's off a 73, so she, like Darren touched on, she was really thrown in the deep end, far from disgraced. Teeny Prinsloo's yard is in cracking form. I think he's only got 8 or 9 horses in the yard, and 2 of them won, and the other ran a place over the weekend. So the yard's in a good vein of form. From a 1 draw, let's see how she goes. An improver could be number 10, Luna Eclipse. Now, last time out, you can just put a line through that race. She lost it at the start. She was over racing at the back of the field. She went wide. Penultimate start was on the turf. She's a much better polytrack. If she gets a clean break and gets to the front, we know how game she can be on her day. So at her best, I'd certainly include her.
All right, let's jump into those selections. Just for the viewers, the Weighted to Win viewers out there, all the people on channel 240, punters that are streaming. I like to give these comments from the Hollywood Syndicate because it does help you when you structure your bets. They say Imperious Destiny, she was an easy winner when shedding her maiden tag over 1400 last time. The step up to 1600 meters will suit her well. It's never easy out of the maidens, but the stable feel that she will run a positive race. So that's Imperious Destiny, who needs to be included. I see Darren Burrows in the first jackpot has gone Field, so taking no chances by 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8, by 1 and 6, by 2, 5, 6, and 9, and that's going to cost you 480 Rand. All right, so let's move along to the second jackpot. I know there'll be a few punters giving this a full go. Let's have a look at this particular race. The Soccer 6 merit rated 66 handicap. It is over 1600 meters, and the market's not really going to help us. You've got 5 to 1 the Tours just for the penny. Behind that 7 Halibos 5 to 1. It's 11 to 2 and better bar those. Let's start with Darren again. Darren, again, not an easy race. One has to think that this first leg of the Jackpot 2 probably going to be competitive. You're going to have to go wide, and maybe the Quartet's trifecta swing is going to pay money.
Yes, definitely. It is another tricky race. You know, this card isn't easy. Race 5. Exceed expectation. I'm expecting further improvement from this horse. You know, he tried more than a mile, 1900 too far, 1700. Last time out, not disgraced. He is 3 kilos better off with Halabos on that last start. He was beaten 2 lengths by Halabos. So he could well reverse the form with Halabos. You got Just for the Penny. Now, it's been 1,400 days since his last win. I think he won as a 2-year-old, and 4 years later, he still hasn't notched up another victory. But what's good about him, he hasn't been jumping slow of late. Last time out, he jumped with the field. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him win. But, you know, when a horse hasn't won in 4 years, you can't have too much confidence. Walton Hall can get into it from the Tenny Prinsloo stable. That last run, he was flying up over 1,400 and he goes the mile. Of the rest, Thunder Masala. So I've touched on 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8.
All right, we're going to go back to Daryl Marie. Daryl, do you like this horse, Thunder Masala? I see the comments are very positive and they're expecting this horse to be in the first 4 this afternoon. At a big price, 15-1. Is there any room for this horse?
Brandon, to be honest, I've tipped him in his last 3 starts, and I won't be surprised to see him win today because I've brassed him. So that's how the game works. Halabos, you know, with the blinkers, he's certainly improved. So he's going to run another honest race. If you like his chances, the one Darren's touch on number 4, exceed expectations. He's 3 kilograms better off for a 2-length beating. I've really expected more from him, but I also like the fact that he's coming back to a mile and he's going to run an honest race. So for me, I've narrowed it down to runners 4 and 7. But like you say, if you want to go wider, perhaps the 8.
Yeah, how many times does that happen? You follow a horse, eventually you give up, and the day you give up is the day the horse wins at a decent price. So, Thunder Masala, the comment here is his recent form has been fair, he drops back to 1,600 meters. He's showing good work and he's doing well at home. Jockey Tristan Godden takes the ride and he's more than capable of finishing in the first 4. Daryl Marie's tipped a Jackpot 2 for us. He's gone 4 and 7. Second leg, he's gone 4, 5 and 6 by 2, 4, 5, 6 and 9. Field at the back, and that's going to cost you 360 Rand. Let's move along. Let's go to race number 6. And again, the market's got them priced up at any old price. Value all over. Number 4, Ideal Gift, 4-1. Joint favourite with number 6, Petite Verdot. 11-2 and better bar those. We'll go to Darren on the line. Darren, I know that we're probably sounding a bit boring now because the stuck record of it being competitive, tricky card. But that's the case. Again, you've got the market 4-1 the pair. Is there anything in particular you like?
Yes, there is actually. You know, this is a really tough card. You know, if we can find 2 winners on the card, we've done well. So I'm going to go for a horse like Petite Verdot. Now, that second last time out, she jumped up in trip from 1,200 to 1,600, course and distance. She was only beaten a neck, and I think she can build on that effort. So in this type of company, I'm going to tip Petite Verdot each way. Her danger could come from Jalsamina. Keegan DeMello won on this filly comfortably 3 runs back. Last time out, I thought she took on a much stronger field, not disgraced. And from a 1 draw, her rating down 3 points, she could be competitive. Of the rest, Ideal Gift. So 6, 1 and 4.
We talk about jockeys that are in good form. Sean Veal, he's riding at the top of his game. He's having a wonderful time of things. And I know he celebrated his birthday just the other day when booting home a few winners. Shaken not stirred, Daryl Marie. Is there any place for this individual with a man that's in good form, Sean Veal?
You know, Brandon, it's fillies and mares handicap. So, yes, there has to be. Also like Petite Verdot, I tipped her last time out. Despite her doing too much in the early stages of the race, she finished the race off, and like Darren says, she can build on that. Just one I want to touch on, Miss Lala, number 5. She had a very busy campaign, even against some boys in the open company. At her best, she's very capable and competitive. So I think the short race could have benefited her, and I'm expecting her to be thereabouts at the finish. But Brandon, we're harping on the same old story. Racing is very competitive today.
Yeah, I think Garth Puller has a very strong hand. Obviously, Miss Lila, which Daryl Maurice touched on, number 5. And he's got the 6, Petite Verdot, who's going to run a mighty race this afternoon. And reading in between the lines, I think both Daryl Marie and Darren Burrows like a bit of Petite Verdot this afternoon at 4-1. Pick 3 for Daryl Marie. That's what he's going to tip. It starts now in race number 6. He goes 4, 5, and 6 by 2, 4, 5, 6, and 9 by field. And the spend is 180 Rand. So we move along to the penultimate this afternoon. This will be race number 7. Just before we go any further, another reminder about that social media. Strap up on your screen. Please pop us a message. Engage with us. We're here to tip you winners. We're here to improve the product. And even though it's been a tough card up until now, let's hope that we can still walk away with a few rand in the back pocket, setting us up for the Vaal tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to start with this particular race and give you the betting. Race number 7. Fateful Day, number 2, 15-4. Proud Master. That's number 6 is at 9-2, and it's 6-1 and better bar those. Darren's on the line. Daryl Marie's also on the line. So let's start with Darren. Darren, Proud Master, you were telling me off air that this is your value play today. 9-2 is a cracking price.
I thought there was value in the price. That's the reason he is my value play for the day. Even if you go each way, you can get 9-10 a place. It covers your money, which I believe he'll be in the first 3. Now, he came to raid Cape Town for a while for 3 runs, and he ran second to Let It Burn. I thought a bit unlucky there. His comeback run in Durban was a good win. That was over 1,200 meters. He is most effective from 12 to 1,400, so this isn't out of his reach, and I think he'll strip a fitter horse. The danger will be Fateful Day. I've heard from the stable that he's working well, and they're expecting a big run. So you can't ignore him in any of your bets. If you're playing wider, Beechamwood Boy, he's in form, but he's yet to prove himself beyond 1,200 meters, which is my concern. Pineapple Express of the rest. But Proud Master, let's hope he can bring home the cash.
Come, Daryl Marie, give us the confidence over here, Proud Master. Stuart Ferry really doing well at the moment, and I've already touched on Sean Veal riding at the top of his game. Can we take a bit of the 9-2, yes or no?
Brandon, it's your cash. You're more than welcome to. Yes, like Darren touched on, you're going to get a run for your money, certainly. He's never won over the 1,400, but his running style suggests that it's certainly within his reach. He likes to be given a chance just off the pace, and he's really a polytrack specialist. So you will get a run for your money. Fateful Day could possibly get the run of the race. You know, he's drawn alongside Fast Love, who likes to push forward. I think he's going to run a forward race. I'm happy to hear that the stable are upbeat with regards to his chances. A little bit of a sneaker in the pack. On his day, number 4, Passage of Power. If he gets a clean break and he gets handy, you know, he's a galloping sort. And if he can catch the field on the break, I wouldn't be surprised to see him run into the money. So I'm not going into this race as confident as yourself and Darren.
All right, yeah. Daryl's playing it on the safe side. It doesn't look to be a race where you want to go and anchor, but I think there's definitely value to be had with Proud Master, who's trading at 9-2. And I see Darren Burrows also gone for this one, gone for a win bet. That's the suggested play when it comes to race number 7. The race goes off at 4 o'clock, and it's to be run over 1,400 meters. So we go to the 8th and final, and I was just having a look at the market. 11 Aggressivos at 7-2, 4 Pinda Mzala 5-1, the 1 Pake Mali is at about 13-2, and it's 7-1 and better bar those. Now what's interesting to note over here, Darren, Hollywood have got first favourite, second favourite, third favourite, all for 3 different trainers. Which one are you going with over here?
Brandon, this is probably the hardest race on the card, even on a competitive card. Paki Mali, he did beat Pinda Mzala over the course and distance 2 runs back. I thought his last run a bit disappointing, but you got to include 1, 4, 5, 8, 11, and 12. An interesting runner could be Shifting Path. The money poured onto him last time out from 20 to 1 to 5 to 1, and he was never really in the race, but his ratings dropped another 8 points. So Vaughan Marshall's runner, maybe the Shruti in the pack.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy. I was just having a quick glance at all those comments coming through for the Hollywood Syndicate, and they all expect it to be bang there in the money. So I'm sure they'll be hoping for a trifecta finish, a few exactors, and let's see what Daryl likes over here. Daryl, how do you see it playing? Is it going to be one of those races where it will definitely be won by a Hollywood horse, or can they be beaten?
No, it's certainly not going to be one-way traffic for Hollywood. Yeah, I think if perhaps 2 of their runners finish in the top 4, they've done extremely well. Paka Imali, last time I don't think Marco got the luckiest or luck in running. Let's put it that way. A lot went wrong for him. He was caught wide. From a 1 draw, you should really be able to settle in running, get a nice smooth running transit, and he will improve just because he was unlucky last time out. Shifting Path, I mean, if this horse isn't going to be competitive of his current rating, you might have to look at a different career, maybe show jumping, because look at his rating, Brandon, honestly, from a 94 to a 68. The things aren't going to be easy from him from the worst barrier position, but he has to start now delivering off that current rating. Get Carter, if I'm not mistaken, he's been fitted with blinkers. He was caught wide last time out. If you're playing a trifecta, add him in. He's a nice roughie. If he can feature, he'll certainly boost that dividend. But Brandon, yeah, your guess is as good as mine in the last.
All right, so we'll pop up those selections. While you jot down that trifecta, I'm going to give you the comments quickly for the Hollywood horses. Paka Imali, he was disappointing in his last start after a good win in his penultimate run. Jockey Ashton Aries returns to the saddle and he jumps from pole position. A good run is expected as he can finish in the placings. Pinda Mzala, he was a tad disappointing in his last start over 1,000 meters, steps back up to 1,200. He's doing well at home, and if finding the form of his penultimate run, he should be involved at the finish. And then finally, Aggressivo, his last 2 starts after returning from a 17-week break have been good. He's doing well at home. He's a horse that always gives his best. We're hoping that he gets luck in running and he's capable of finishing in the money. There's the trifecta. Spend 300 Rand. A big thank you to Daryl and Darren. A big thank you to all the punters out there. Play nicely, hit them hard. We'll chat again for the ball tomorrow.